Okay, now it's being recorded. So let's go back to the presentation. Cool, we are recording. So before getting started, let me share this slide with all of you. This is the slide that we are usually reviewing together in every community meeting. And is just a reminder of our code of conduct and just to make sure that we are creating a safe and comfortable space for everyone. First of all, as I said before, we are going to record this session to share it with the community and in our YouTube channel. But if someone is again sharing this in YouTube, okay, I take care of not uploading this one, but I think that is going to be very valuable for everyone. So I hope everyone is going to be agree in sharing this in YouTube. Of course, we encourage everyone to challenge any language or behavior that is harmful, not inclusive, or against our code of conduct. By the way, if you haven't visited our code of conduct, this is the links, so please take a look. We try to stay on mute when other people is speaking and use the Zoom reactions for us to time to speak. So what is the agenda we have for today? I'm going to use a couple of minutes for introducing the project, and some valuable resources. After that, we will have a Who is Who session where the mentors will introduce themselves. So, and we have amazing mentors for this year. So it's going to be a great moment. After that, we'll review the timelines of the program. So everyone, we are all in the same page to be sure that we are having in mind the timelines and the deadlines. In fourth place, the priority in this moment of the program. And finally, review the project idea. So every mentor is going to have some minutes to introduce to all of you the project ideas. And after that, we will have the Q&A session. I hope that is going to be for the moment, it's not going to be a fun session, but it's going to be. We are just getting started. First, as I said, I think most of you, we have been interacting in GitHub and Slack, but it's great that we can see our faces because in the end, we are all humans and this is a human interaction. So this is a great moment just for just make sure that we are building those connections together. Next thing,
Yeah.
we had like a couple waves of a lot of people joining the community, and we were excited about that. So thank you all of you for your interest in the project. It's not usual for us having such an amazing number of contributors at the same time. We tried to make our best, but it was a challenge for us. So thanks everyone for your patience, for your resilience, and for your contributions. To be honest, in the last couple of weeks, we have a huge progress in the backlog of several projects. Bowtie, the benchmark tool have an amazing project. So I was receiving like hundreds of notifications. So the people that have been contributing to that project did amazing. And the same for the website and the community repost. And I was doing reviews alongside Greg, that is one of the mentors that is here. So thanks for that. Next. Mentoring organizations. There has been some confusion about this. So JSON Schema, the past year, we applied to Google Summer of Code, but we were rejected. It was the first time that we tried it, but we were rejected. I mean, it was a learning experience. It's not easy to be selected as mentoring organization. So we tried it, but we learned how to do it better, right? But we managed to get some project ideas added in the Postman application. Postman applied as mentor organization. Postman is one of the sponsors of JSON Schema, and also Postman is the company that is paying the salaries of some of the full-time contributors and maintainers of the project, like me and others. So this is why you can see the same project ideas added in Postman application and in JSON Schema application. We did that to make sure that we have the maximum chances to have more projects running, right? But we didn't expect the two organizations being accepted. That happened, and that's amazing because we are going to have more slots for mentees. So this is the reason, okay? So as I said, I'm working in Postman and also the community manager JSON Schema, and that is the explanation. So basically, the Postman application is just an umbrella for JSON Schema and async API. As soon as you see the project ideas in the repository of Postman, what we did is just add a comment to make sure that the flow of contributors is coming directly to our organization. So everything is going to happen here in JSON Schema ecosystem, right? Cool. Next, quick introduction about JSON Schema. JSON Schema is an amazing project. JSON Schema has been here for more than 15 years. So it was created like in 2008 or 7. I don't know because I'm the last one joining the team, but let's say 15 years. And in plain words, JSON Schema is making super easy for you to annotate and validate JSON documents. It can be used for a bunch of different use cases. You can use it downstream just to make sure that you can put the mute.
Yeah.
Please stay on mute. Hey. Thank you. So a lot of different use cases. Downstream, you can use it to validate JSON documents to make sure that the development lifecycle stay consistent. I mean, multiple use cases, you can name it. And upstream is extremely useful for interoperability. So if you want your data to be usable by people, interoperability is what JSON Schema is putting on the table. As soon as you start using it, you will realize that the possibles are countless. So yeah, and I think that is going to be an amazing resource that you can add to your skill set. So you will be a master of JSON Schema or JSON management and data management. So you can just be a reference in your future projects in the JSON Schema or JSON or schema usage. As I said, I'm the last one joining the project. I'm not a project maintainer, so this is probably the worst explanation about what is JSON Schema. As soon as you start interacting with your mentees and your mentors, you will get a much better explanation about it. Please, can we stay on mute?
I think you can mute them, Benja, as well, if you right-click on there.
But I don't know. We have like 40 people here, so I'll try to. Okay, anyways, now we can hear us. So as I said, this is the word explanation about JSON Schema, and JSON Schema is extremely powerful. So make sure that you spend some time reviewing the resources that I'm sharing here, and you will find cool videos in our YouTube channel and a lot of resources. So next, our web page is JSON-schema.org. We launched it like 5 months ago. And this is why our CD pipelines and some of pages are still pending to be built because we are a small team. But lucky us, you all are here, so you can help us to build everything that is still pending to be built. Slack, I hope that you join our channel because it's when we can have like live discussions. So if you are not in Slack, please join and directly join the GSoC channel. Next, GitHub organizations. So github.com, JSON Schema.org. If you are not in the organization contributing, just take a look and see what is happening there. The website repository and the community repository that are the ones that are receiving contributions in the org are there. But also, most of you or some of you are contributing to Bowtie. Something about JSON Schema. JSON Schema is huge. There are hundreds of tools around. Some of those tools are maintained by the mentors that are going to be working with you. But the ecosystem is spread in different organizations, right? So this is something that you will realize. And this is great because the ecosystem is extremely powerful. So what we are trying to do is connect all those amazing projects. So Bowtie is in a different organization, but Bowtie is a critical project for JSON Schema. This is why we are contributing this year to Bowtie. There are other projects that are outside the organization, like the Corvus project that you will be the chance to work with Greg and Matthew, and Juan's project is based in another implementation that he has that is alter schema that is also very important. So diversity is great in everything, and JSON schema ecosystem is really diverse. And last but not least, please take a look to the last link in the slide. Is the landing page of the GSoC application for JSON schema. You will see there the project ideas, the contributing guidelines, and all the resources you might need to work in your applications for this year edition. Thank you for listening to me for 3 minutes. It's not an easy task, so thanks for that. It's not free, it's a little bit more. But anyways, next, as I said, mentors of in JSON Schema are amazing. What you can see here is the people that is going to be mentoring the project ideas. All of them, unless me, all of them are maintainers of very important implementations of JSON Schema. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to ask the mentors that are in the session just unmute the microphone and introduce themselves. So guys, please save me and introduce yourself.
I can go first. Hi, I'm Greg. Greg Dennis. I run a project for .NET called JSON Everything that has JSON Schema, JSON Path, and a whole bunch of other JSON support things in .NET. I am teaming up with Matthew Adams. I don't know if he's in the call today, but he and I are looking to do an improvement to his Corvus JSON schema project this year.
Thanks, Greg. Just something from my side. What I'm putting here is just one of the small things that I just highlighted of the mentors, but there are much more. So Greg is the one co-author of the specification, is co-author of the JSON path specification, and is one of the core maintainers of the .NET ecosystem alongside Matthew and others. So if you are interested in that project, the opportunity to collaborate with Matthew and him is amazing. So yeah, thank you, Greg. Next, Julian, Jason, Juan.
Yeah, sure. Hello. Julian, nice to meet you all. Like it says here, I maintain a Python implementation and then also maintain Bowtie, which is kind of a tool for cross-language JSON schema things. So yeah, I know a couple of you already, but yeah, excited to meet the rest of you.
I can go next. I'm Juan. Hello, everybody. I work at Postman as Julian, Greg, and Benja as well. I've been doing a lot of research on JSON schema, mainly at the University of Oxford. And then from a lot of my work in there, I've been maintaining a growing set of C++ tooling around JSON schema, including Alter Schema, which is the main project that we're applying for. It's a tool for automatically upgrading JSON schemas across versions. Other than that, I maintain the Learn JSON Schema website that maybe you have came across. And very recently, I also released a book in O'Reilly that is covering a lot of JSON schema. So yeah, happy to meet you all.
All right, I can go next. I'm Jason. I wrote the Hyperjump JSON schema library in JavaScript, and I'm using that library to build a language server, which is the projects that we're working on for this Google Summer of Code project. It's it's very early to start with. So there's a lot of uncertainty, and so hoping to find somebody, excuse me, who wants to work on that with me. Excuse me.
Thank you, Jason. So some other two mentors that couldn't join today. We spoke about Matthew, that is going to team with Greg for the Corebus project, and Ben Eros, that is maintainer of the JSON Schema Java implementation, that is going to team with me for the Atur in JSON Schema, that is one of the projects that I'm also mentoring. And just some seconds for me, I'm Benjamin, the community manager. You probably already interacted with me in some pull requests and in Slack. And yeah, I'm here to make sure that we have an amazing experience in the program. Cool. So, who is who section done? Let's continue. Timelines. So, where we are. Actually, we are in this fourth row here. Potential Google Summer of Code contributors discuss application ideas with mentoring organizations from February 22 to March 18. So this is the part of the timeline that we are right now. And basically is you are connecting with our organization, we are interacting with other contributors that join it for Google Summer of Code, but also contributors on users of JSON Schema that are part of the community for many years. This is why in the beginning, we shared some messages about trying to just make sure that we are creating a comfortable space for everyone, for you guys that join it for the program, but also for the JSON Schema community that actually is huge. In Slack, we are 6,000, but we are using other channels like GitHub, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. So all of that together, I think our community is 14,000. That is huge. So yeah, as I said, you choose the right project for Google Summer of Code. What is next? So application period. So in March 18, the application period will start, and you will have 2 to 3 weeks to prepare your applications. And this is what we have to think about right now. The bonding period, that is what we are doing, like make sure that you get to know the project, the technology, the people, the mentors, and the whole JSON Schema community, and the capabilities of the technology. And choose the project. Probably you already have a project in mind. So this is the moment for you to think about that project, make some questions, prepare your, like, how do you ideate that project to be, if you are going to be the one chosen, and put together a good application to be sent between March 18 and April 2nd. Any questions so far? This is in the Google Summer of Code, by the way, page, but I think that is necessary to review it together. As I said, Simon, I see that you have the hand raised, but we are going to have the Q&A session later, so please make sure that you remember your question, and we will review it in the last part of the meeting. Thank you. So, your priorities, as I said, introduce yourself, connect with others. In the beginning, we perceive like kind of competition between some of you or all of you, and this is not about competition. So this is something that we need to change. It's about collaboration. It's about supporting others. It's about building something together. And is normal because it's like everything is exciting. You just need to like to show your capabilities. So we understand that. That wave just passed, and now it's moment just to reduce the speed and make sure that you understand the technology, go through the resources, go through the project idea, and the qualification task. So what is the qualification task? Every project idea is going to have a comment with something we'll like you to do. And we are going to review that. I mean, I don't think we are going to review the project ideas. I don't know if the mentors are going to say a word about the qualification task, but all the project ideas already has a qualification task, unless the a tour on JSON schema that I need to put it after this meeting. So all of them has qualification task. And if you have questions when you go through the qualification task, just let's keep the discussion in the issue, so everyone can see what is the question, the answer, and we avoid like doing the same question again and again. So I think that discussing the project idea, the right channel is GitHub, and for other kind of discussions or specific immediate things, we can use Slack. Right? I'm putting in the slide here the contribution guideline, and I think that everything is going to be clear. I'm going to share this presentation later. So this is your priority right now, right? Cool. And this is the magic moment when we are going to speak about the project ideas. I tried to make like something like visual here, like just with the screenshots and copy pasting stuff. This is what this result. So we have, let me count, 10 project ideas. And in the left side of the screen, I'm putting what is the mentor or what are the mentors. Maybe we will have more mentors joining, like support in some way. I don't know if that will happen or not. As per our experience the past year, is going to be is more efficient, like one-to-one or two mentors that are very aligned, but just a mentor just to join if you have questions about something. In the end, it end up like something that is like not working or efficient. But we are still learning. It's our second participation, so let's see how it goes. Julian, your projects are in the first positions of the list. If you don't mind, like sharing, you can speak about all of them together or separately, so up to you. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, let me talk about 1, 2, and 4 to start. So Bowtie, for anyone who hasn't seen it already, is a tool which basically runs JSON schema implementations. So tools which implement JSON schema across programming languages. So the 3 of the 4 things at the top of this list are about making improvements to it in self-contained areas. So the 3 of the projects that I proposed. So one of them, the first one, is that if you go to Bowtie's website, which you'll find linked from its repository, then you'll see that there's some simple way that we report on whether an implementation has the right behavior or not. So the first project there is to basically change from the really simple, really bad widget or component that I threw together just to get something out there into something that's a little more useful for someone to really answer how implementations are behaving. So there's some general ideas in that issue. There's, I think, some very obvious ideas if you just try and understand what the goal of someone doing that is. You can click around the website and get some ideas. And then there's some other more interesting ideas or more creative ideas that I think you can come up with if you think about that for a little bit longer. So that's the first one. The second one is kind of related. It's right now, whenever Bowtie reports on implementations, it only does that for yesterday, let's say. So it'll test all the implementations and tell you how well they work. And then tomorrow it will retest all of them again, and it will tell you how well they work tomorrow. So the second item on this list is about taking the data that we already collect from day to day and using that to make some nice dashboards and graphs and charts and what have you which show off how tools are changing over time, which is something that the website doesn't do at all now. So I'm going to skip the third one for a minute just because it's not related. And the fourth one is about right now, the main thing that Bowtie does is just test whether implementations get the right answers or not. But it doesn't do things like test how fast that they get the right answers, or in any way try and figure out potential performance issues that implementations may have. So the fourth one there is about a whole new area of functionality where we make use of the fact that we can talk to all of these implementations, but we try and figure out how we can analyze their performance using the same tool. So less focus on the UI. A UI might be nice, but we could just also make use of existing tooling for UI for performance analysis. So that's the fourth one there. And then the third one that I skipped for a minute, the lean one, is about writing a new implementation of JSON schema. And it's about doing that in a programming language called Lean, which is a theorem proving programming language. So this is about writing an implementation of JSON schema where we would be able to prove, let's say, mathematical theorems about schemas and instances and what their results should be. So quite very much different than the other three. But that's what the four of those are. Berja, tell me if you, I forgot if we were supposed, so for three of the four of these, I know many of you have engaged already with Bowtie's code base. If you're interested in any of those three, that's the main step, although of course it'll be out there in the comment. So yeah, hopefully that made sense.
It does. Thank you, Julian. As we have been saying, Bowtie is a critical tool for the JSON schema ecosystem because, as Julian said, you can just compare and evaluate and check how compliant the implementations are. So it's an amazing opportunity for you to have a view on the whole ecosystem. So, and those are going to be the project ideas. Julian, maybe we are discussing for other mentors to join in the JSON schema lean implementation. So we are still under discussion for that. If that happens, the mentors are going to be top notch because they are like researchers. And so it's going to be an amazing opportunity. Julian is amazing. So he was mentored past year. But if someone joins, it's going to be same experience or even better. So just stay tuned for that. In the meantime, Julian is going to be the person evaluating the qualifying ideas, right, Julian?
Yes, correct.
Cool. Next, for example, Greg, do you mind going ahead with yours?
Sure. Mine's towards the bottom there, number 614. Currently, Corvus.json schema, which is a library that was built by Matthew Adams, who's the other person pictured there. That is a .NET tool, which means it's really just a command line only tool. But .NET in recent versions has some source generation capability where, excuse me, you can install an analyzer from a NuGet package, and through annotations of your own code or through what other means that is required by the analyzer, it can generate code that gets included into the compilation. Corvus JSON schema specifically already does the code generation functionality, so we're not asking for that. But what it does need is a kind of a usability reform. Being a .NET tool, it'll just write out to files, but what we want to do is we want to take advantage of the source generation that .NET provides, and kind of wrap what Corvus outputs so that it can just automatically generate the the source that can then be used for APIs or whatever. So that's what this project is. It's creating that source generation analyzer. As I mentioned, it's a rather new technology. There's a few good videos out there. I've linked to one in the issue. And it's probably a good idea to at least try to look at what Corvus does. It operates a bit differently. It bakes validation into the models that it generates, which is actually really cool. So the idea is that if I'm a user of this thing, I would just install the NuGet package into my project and make some annotations in the code. The analyzer would read those annotations and generate. It would output the generated code based on whatever JSON schema I indicated, and then that code would be included into the compilation, and I would be able to use those models that it generated. It's a really cool project, and if you're not familiar with analyzers, this is a great opportunity to learn. But that's essentially the project.
Thanks, Greg. I'm going to add something about this project idea. A part of the technology aspect that is super cool, as Greg said, there is something that got me excited about this project when I first heard about it, and it is basically that you will have Matthew and Greg that are maintainers of two different implementations. And this time, Greg decided to join efforts to improve that area of functionality in the Corvus implementation that is maintained by Matthew. This is like the magic of open source, when just two different projects and two different maintainers just join efforts to improve something that already one of those implementations is doing really great, right? And I think that is a great opportunity to be part of that magic that is just was part of the initial idea. Sorry, Greg, but that was a great story from my side, and I just wanted to share it with the people because it's super cool, that idea. So yeah. Next, Juan, Jason, up to you.
I can go if you want. So my project is around alter schema, and just to explain that a bit better, what you're gonna see as you get deeper into the JSON schema ecosystem is that there are many versions of the JSON schema language, and the ecosystem out there is pretty fragmented still. We have people relying on pretty old versions of JSON schema, some people using newer ones, and kind of everything in between. So the main problem that I'm trying to solve here is creating a tool that would automatically be able to upgrade and potentially also downgrade schemas across different versions with a high degree of certainty on those automated transformations. So as a fun fact, this is not the first time I try to solve the problem. My initial attempt on doing this is originally the project called Alter Schema, which is referred in there. I just dropped a link to a web playground that I have on that. So that got pretty far already, but there are some fundamental flaws on the design of Alter Schema, and it will not handle some specific tricky cases that I have been detailing a bit on the issue of the project. So what I want to do is, given all that I've learned on creating the first generation upgrade tool, let's actually design the next generation together that would not have all of the problems that this one already has. And furthermore, do a large part of this new generation of upgrading tool on the JSON schema organization itself instead of being on a separate organization. And I think one of the cool opportunities with this project is that it's definitely very high long-term impact. I want to 100% solve the problem of upgrading schemas, potentially downgrading as well, so that anybody in the community can just take advantage of that, and the problem would be completely solved for a huge amount of people. In the issue, I provided a little qualifying task. Again, this project, think about it, that a lot of it, I think, is going to be thinking through how we can perform these automated transformations and thinking about the language that we're going to design to support these transformations. That's going to occupy the vast majority of time. The actual implementation of the engine, I presume, is actually going to be very simple. For example, the alter schema code, I think is just like one file of JavaScript, couple hundred lines max, pretty simple. So most of it is thinking it through. And the qualifying task that I describe on that issue, it is highlighting that as well. So not much on the code, but more on evaluating how can you think about the problem of upgrading and downgrading and how different versions of JSON schema relate. So that's the main thing that this project is looking for.
Thanks, Juan. That project is going to be critical, as Juan said, so it's a great opportunity to get experience in multiple version of JSON schema. That is actually one of the particularities of JSON schema, those living versions around. And this project is going to be key for strengthen the ecosystem. So exciting about the future of that project. Jason, are you okay? Because in the voice, because before you were like, are you okay to go ahead? Cool.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a cough, so I'll try to get through this better than I did the introduction. But if I start coughing again, just move on without me. Yeah, so the language server is the project I'm working on. It's kind of an exploration right now of building a language server. So a lot of it is very experimental. We're figuring it out, and so the kind of person I need for working on this project with me is somebody who can handle a lot of change and uncertainty, and honestly, somebody who's going to help figure out the direction of the project. As I have never written a language server before, so I don't know exactly what we're going to encounter or what challenges we're going to encounter. So yeah, so I need somebody who wants to be really involved, and rather than somebody who wants to have all of the requirements told to them, and they'll go away for a couple months and come back with something. Like, that's not going to work in this project. I guess I think everybody has interest in the language server already knows what it is, but I'll really quick talk about it's a language server is basically a generic plugin that will work with a variety of editors and IDEs to provide features like code completion and syntax highlighting and inline errors, linting, all those things. So those are all the kinds of things that we're looking to build for JSON schemas.
Thanks, Jason. So I'm going to take just a minute for share something about that project. Is also extremely important for the ecosystem. The existing language server is suboptimal. Is like providing not a great experience. And basically, when we have the language server out, we hope that the developer experience is going to improve a lot when building schemas. So it's also critical. So a great opportunity to work with Jason that has a long experience as mentor. So yeah. And the last 3 projects, I'm involved on all of them. In 2 of the projects, I'm going to be the main mentor, and in other project, I'm going to be co-mentor. I'm going to start with the last one. I'm going to co-mentor the project idea, a tour of JSON schema with Ben Eros. This project was the idea that Ben has, and is something that we need in JSON schema. JSON schema is a technology that is like, seems simple, but it's not. It's extremely powerful. It has this ambiguity, right? And we don't have, there is no course out there, and our documentation, I mean, is extensive, but it can improve. In fact, we have a plan to improve our docs, but it will be amazing having learning experience, right? Something that you can just when you are using JSON schema for the first time, some steps that can help you like start get up to speed to build basic schemas. And this is what we are trying to achieve with a tour of JSON schema. It's going to be very important for the experience when someone starting to learn with JSON schema, and it's going to be like a multi-step experience of solve different challenges when you have to build a schema, and the solution is going to guide you. If you completed the challenge, go to the next step, and it's like we still are getting requirements. So if you are interested in that idea, you will have the opportunity also to put your product mindset to work and maybe suggest not only building that experience, but also suggesting new features and ideas. So this is going to be super cool. I'm excited about that idea. And the other two ideas. First one, rebuilding the tooling page of the current website. So as I said, the website, we launched it 4 months ago. Initially, the scope was planned to be smaller, but we just increased it, and we are very happy with the website we have. However, the tooling page wasn't part of that plan to MVP launch of the website. So the experience in that page is suboptimal. And as we have been saying, tooling is critical for the JSON schema ecosystem. It's critical because maintainers or tooling creators are a core part of the ecosystem, and we love to provide them the best place for them to share their creation. But also the users needs a great experience to discover, compare, and use the tooling that is available out there. This is the third page more visited in our website, and we have a cool design ready to make an amazing experience of that. So we are looking for someone that is great at front-end development. So that idea. And the second idea, when we launched the website, we didn't have people with experience in DevOps or CI/CD. So basically, we didn't have any CD/CD approach. And we realized about that when we have like a bunch of people contributing. Basically, what we are planning with the project idea of CD/CD workflow is make our project ready for receiving a bunch of contributions. So make sure that we have everything needed to do clean releases, code validation. I mean, think about this like a real production project that you are going to build something solid for an organization. So we will hope this CCD approach is going to last for the next 10 years. So this is the idea. If we solve it and we still have time, my proposal will be probably extend the test approach, because CCD is one part, but also we need to think about unit testing and user experience testing. So probably this will be the second part of the project. And that's it. Qualification task are published. I only have to publish the tour of JSON schema that will be published today, end of the day. And I know that we are all out of time, but if you have time, let's stay in the session for 10 minutes more or 5, I don't know, depending on the number of questions. Just some resources. I mean, all the resources are in the website, but here you have more. I'm going to share the presentation later in GitHub and Slack. Before closing, we would like to make sure that we are replying all the possible questions you might have. So if you have questions, Simon, you raised the hand before. So let's go one by one, replying all the questions. If you don't feel comfortable in unmuting yourself and speaking, you can just raise your question in the chat, and I'll try to reply. So Oda, please, all yours.
Hey, just a quick question. I know that I've asked it in the Slack before, and you have explained it in the beginning of the session, but I just want to clarify. Being under Postman, so that means when we apply for the project, it doesn't matter under which institution we apply for. Or does that mean that will be multiple contributors accepted per project?
It's a very good question, Ola. Thank you. What we need? We still need to receive for the Google Summer of Code organizations how many projects we can include in each organization. So we are not fully sure at the moment if all the we can publish all the project ideas. But basically, what we will do is, as soon as we get notification of the slots we are getting, we will be allocating project ideas in one organization or the other. So the list probably will change in the Postman site to have 2 or 3 projects, or whatever is the ones we can put it there, and the rest will be in the JSON schema organization. So right now, the projects are in both sides, but as soon as we receive the number, we will collaborate with Async API to put some projects in the Postman site and the rest of the projects that we can allocate in JSON schema site. This is from a project idea perspective, but this is going to be just GitHub. So yeah, when you see those, let's make sure that before you send the application, you send the application to the right organization. So I'm going to take a lot of care of communicating this properly in GitHub and Slack. So as soon as we have the list closed, I'll send different communications to make sure that everyone knows what is the right place. And if we realize that we need to change something, please submit your applications. Don't wait until the last minute. So if we see something that is in the wrong bucket, we can just synchronize to ask you or whoever to, hey, you sent this application to the wrong organization, so let's make sure that you are applying to the right one. So yeah, we'll take care about that. I hope that is answered your question, Oda.
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
Thanks. As I said, we weren't expecting to be selected, the 2 organizations, but that happened. So Google Summer of Code is critical for us. We just applied to both organizations to make sure that we have space, but lucky us, that happened. So we are going to have more slots for having more mentees and more projects. So yeah, this is the year. So you choose the right year to collaborate with us. Simon, please go ahead.
Okay, hi. Yeah, I was wondering about the application. So the Google Summer of Code website says that it's best to run it by the mentor that we're going to be with. So do we like send a draft or discuss the ideas, or how exactly does that work? That's my question.
I mean, past year, the number of mentees was slower. So we have enough bandwidth to provide feedback, etc. But this year, depending on the number of applications, I'm not fully sure that we will have bandwidth if everything happened like in the last 2 days. So if you like us to provide you feedback, my suggestion is try to ask for it in advance. For me, this is my personal opinion, right? Qualifications task is important too. So it's going to be a mix of both. So if you made an amazing qualification task, we expect an amazing application too, right? So, but a great application without qualification tags is probably going to be difficult to work it out. So focus is qualification task. Do your best in that site, and later let's work in the application. And if you have 1 week, 10 days in advance, I'm sure that we can handle that. And if a mentor has like is like not available to provide feedback, just send it to me. I'm not going to be the mentor of that project, but maybe I can give you feedback about style, tone, things that can like help with that. So probably I'm going to be asking for a pool of people helping me to provide feedback if we receive a bunch of feedback requests. Greg?
So in the same vein as that question, it'd be really good to know what, as part of the application process, what is the responsibility of the mentor and the mentee. Yeah, I guess that's the question. So I imagine that there are components to that that each person is responsible for. And then also, is there a format that Google is expecting for the application itself?
Those are like three different questions, but I'm going to try to reply all of them. So format is free. So just be creative and submit something that represent yourself. This is my advice, but something that is like solid enough, like you are showing your skills, your experience, or your ideas about the project. And the qualification task, it depends of every mentor. So let's focus in this period about qualification task, and let's make sure that you are coordinating with each mentor to make sure that you are submitting your task in the way that every mentor expects. And the third question is, what are the shared responsibilities, right? So mentee, build your application and ask for feedback. And your point of contact for feedback initially is your mentor or your mentors. And the mentors team, that is all the people that introduce the ideas today, we can synchronize among us. What I mean, Greg, if you, for example, you imagine that you receive 30 drafts to be reviewed like 1 week before the deadline. Probably you are going to have time to review all of that. So let's speak, and I can like handle the like style feedback, not technical feedback, but at least style feedback, and how mentees can like put the ideas together better. Basically, it's like if you have time, try to provide feedback. In your case, it's Matthew and you, so yeah. Hopefully, it's going to be like a manageable number of drafts to provide. So we make this feedback loop with mentors and among mentors and mentees before the application period, and is the application day, right? So of course, you guys need to submit your applications and on time. So make sure that you know what is the day, the time, etc. And when you submit the applications, basically what we are going to do internally is every mentor is going to go through the drafts and build the list of favorite candidates. We will manage like a list of points. So we will make sure that we have a consistent, transparent, and equalitarian approach to evaluate drafts. I'll work on that and probably publish before the deadline. So in the period we are evaluating, probably I will send a submit or share a communication saying, hey, this is our criteria. No, I will share it before. So we have 3 weeks of work in the application. So I'm going to try to consolidate with the mentors what is the criteria. It's not going to be fully closed. So it's going to be, the projects are like very personal in some cases. So each mentor will have like a percentage of like, this is what I think I need for this project. So we need to figure out what is the percentage, but expect something like that. So before in 1 week, 10 days, expect us publishing an evaluation criteria guide or something that is not going to be fully closed, but it can give you some guide about what we will be looking at. So each mentor will build his list of favorites, and we will work together like in a couple meetings, like deciding depending on the slots. For example, past year, we have someone applying to 2 different projects and with 2 good applications. So basically, we need to make sure that we are not choosing the right person for two different projects. So we can like play around favorites and discussing about someone that was great in one application. So we can like discuss among us to if we need some adjustments. Initially, no, but it can happen. And that's it, what we will be doing. So we are still building the process as we speak, but it's going to work. It's going to work. Greg, long answer. Thanks. Any other question? Cool. Thanks. It was a long meeting. I promised that it was going to be a fun experience. Maybe not as fun, but not too bad, right? But before we close, I am going to ask everyone for a big favor. So we have 37 people in the meeting. And if you feel comfortable with this, I will love everyone to share the, open the camera if you are visible, so we can take a picture. It's going to be something cool. It's going to be a great way to start the experience. So if you are okay with this, let's do it. We have 2 pages, so I'm going to need some moment to take a couple of screenshots and prepare like a cool way to share it among all of us. So put your smile on the good side. So in my case, I don't have good sight. So, okay, let's smile. So I'm going to take 2 screenshots. Thanks, everyone. Let's go with first one. I have it. And second one, I have it. Cool. Thank you. So this just started today. We hope you will be engaging in Slack, engaging in the issues, connecting with mentors, but also connecting among you, because the good thing, as I said, I started saying, we are building software, but everything is about human interaction. So let's enjoy about that and let's build something cool. Thank you. See you. Thank you. I will be
Bye-bye,
sharing
everybody.
the recording and slides and everything. So let's build something cool. Bye-bye.